Hey Danny, how you doing, man?
I've had a whole year to tune myself into the psychic network and integrate with its matrices.
In reality, though, you haven't had a whole year to do that because you've been ill. So you've had, I don't know how long you've been ill, a week, a fortnight, with which to attune yourself to a box of tissues and a cup of tea and a sad set of pyjamas.
Yeah, well, I haven't done that. David Tennant did that.
Yes.
Yeah, I wasn't... I'm not saying what I've done. Okay.
Sorry, that's the psychic matrices over Glasgow that are affecting Danny.
Yeah.
As we record the podcast. Oh, sorry guys, I'm allergic to psychic matrices.
I've attuned to them too hard.
It's like just that's exactly what it is. It's like you're drinking and you're like, just one or two, that's okay, and then you're there like 10 drinks deep, just like, whoa, I'm really psychically linked to everyone else in Glasgow.
Oh, fuck.
Wake up the next day with like a pounding hangover because Kenneth from next door is like having some kind of rage-induced fit at 3 a.m.
Oh my god, I'm so fucking attuned. It's unbelievable. Actually,
I know everything that's happening in Glasgow right now. Every single thing.
It hurts to sniff, Lewis.
Does it?
That was so painful.
I see. Well, the thing is, I do have sympathy for you. But the funny thing is that, like, obviously, I work from home. Always, not just COVID, always.
Yeah.
Chloe's working from home at the minute, so and then the cat doesn't leave the house, so I haven't had a cold in about 1,000 years.
Oh my god.
The closest I came was when I had my second COVID jab, and I was like a bit under the weather for a day. But yeah, that was it.
Yeah, you're lucky, you know.
I am.
There's not much working from home getting done when you're out scaffolding in the freezing cold.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not even what I do, but because you say that, you're just like, I'm licensed to scaffold. I don't like just go up and put scaffoldings about.
The thing is, you tell me that you've, like, sometimes when we start these calls, you'll say to me, like, oh yeah, I've been on such and such on wherever, near to Glasgow or some Scottish city somewhere.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, oh, okay, yeah. And then in my head, I've just got an image of you connecting tubes of scaffolding together with those cable ties that you tighten with a screwdriver and, like, all that sort of stuff. That's the only thing I can envisage you doing with your days.
I tell you what, right? Next bullshit, 10-minute bullshit, I'll tell you exactly what I do, right?
I can't. I'm sure that will be utterly thrilling.
There you go.
And I'll start to tell you what I do, and then say, "Oh, actually, I've signed an NDA. Sorry, guys." And then then you'll know nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Well, for those that are here for Doctor Who, we're on the season finale of season 3 of Doctor Who, and it's called Last of the Time Lords, not The Last of the Time Lords, which is a bit annoying.
Well, I don't think it is annoying. Here's a hot take, because there's a sci-fi series or a fantasy series or something coming out at the minute, The Wheel of Time. I've been aware of the series of books very distantly for a long time, and I've never read them, but I've always wanted to.
Yeah.
But the fact that it's called The Wheel of Time means that there are lots of, like, social media influencers and stuff putting posts up that say, "Oh, hi, I went to the Wheel of Time premiere." It's like, oh, well, that's kind of annoying. Don't get me wrong, maybe it's a problem with the influencers, because there is a different way to word that sentence. I was at the premiere for The Wheel of Time. That would be a better way to do it.
I was at the Wheel of Time premiere. Doesn't sound as good, does it?
No, it doesn't. So I would like to say I'm glad that it's Lottle, not Tolottle.
Yeah, because you wouldn't say, I was at Doctor Who premiere, you know?
No, yeah, I was at the Doctor Who premiere. Yeah.
Yeah, it is a bit
So we've ironed out that problem now. We've taken the piece of sheet metal that's been crashed into by the car of your complaint.
Yep.
And we've hammered it out flat again. Now it's beautiful. And over the course of the next 30 minutes, we're going to respray paint it. And what happens in Christine? He gets a back injury from pushing the car to make it go. So yeah, during the course of the next 30 minutes, we're going to get horrific back injuries and a possessed car.
Absolutely. I'm so fucking ill. Okay, come on. Let's do this.
Guys, we can soldier through this together, Dan. It's only 25 more minutes.
Okay, This episode was directed by Colin Teague and was written by Russell T Davies and is starring David Tennant, Freema Agyeman, John Sim, Alexandra Moan, Adoa Ando, Trevor Laird, Gugu Mbatha-Raw, Reggie Yates, Tom Ellis, and a bunch of other fuckers.
Indeed.
Oh, God. I think, ironically, even though I'm lit, I don't know, Satan's bumhole at the moment, that was the best. That was the best credits reading I've ever done in my life.
It was, yeah. That is one of the best ones. Maybe the trick is that you should always be ill for these. What we need is, you know, those sort of nasal sprays that they're designed to like relax your nose passages for when you're congested, where you like sort of spray them up your nose and then the chemicals do something. Yeah. We need like an inverse one of those. So like you squirt it up your nose and then you're just like, oh, ready to go, guys, ready to make a podcast, and you're like, you got your nose is all plugged up.
So a nasal spray rather than a navel spray.
Yes, I think.
There you go. See, trademark.
Or could you just get you like a nose plug that people wear when they go swimming?
Yeah, I'll do.
Perfect.
That's what
we'll do every podcast from now on.
Yeah, let's look into that. Get accounting onto that, Lewis, because that'll.
Yes, I'll get our massive accounting department.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah.
Please do.
We've actually just bought a building in Canary Wharf just for the podcast. We've got a penthouse office, and then everybody else. There's an accounting department. There's a all sorts of different departments, like people that pay our wages. I get a salary now.
Yeah.
I'm exploiting all kinds of tax loopholes. Yeah. It's fantastic.
Don't worry, folks. It is a worker co-op, so everyone's an owner in the business.
That's what I've told Danny, but actually I'm just pocketing all the shares, and I'm gonna do that Zuckerberg thing where he shortchanged Andrew Garfield out of all of his money in social network. That's what I'm gonna do. Yeah.
And you had to break a laptop 118 times because
yes, I did.
That's what David Fincher wanted, you know, and David Fincher always gets what he wants. Okay, come on, Liz.
Yeah, people are here for Doctor Who.
We're not even at the opening statement. Danny, yeah, this is a good episode until you think about it for more than 2 seconds.
A good, not perfect episode where love is the answer. Does Doctor Who have too many of these? Yes.
Yeah.
We've got some CRQs. We're charging through it now, so that at the end we can have 10 minutes of utter bollocks.
Yeah. Oh, my head. Okay, so...
Danny's got a head cold. I'm perfectly fine and laughing at him. It's a brilliant time.
Yeah. Oh my god, I don't want to go in there if I'm going to get sick. Well, I'll be okay.
What? What's that?
From the Yogscast, where they go into like a place that's like riddled with plague, and it doesn't affect dwarves. And Lewis is like, I don't want to go in there if there's plague. Well. I'll be okay.
I hope that's comfort. Yeah. That was one from Shadow of Israfel. The bromance is over. No, it's not a bromance, Lewis. That was a homosexual relationship.
There wasn't even any pretense of heterosexuality. Okay, right. This episode, what happened in this?
In this episode, Lucy was wearing a dress, and then she shot John Sim. I've got a quick question on Lucy. Do we think she was mad? And if so, if she was mad, what drove her to madness? What do we think?
I don't think she was mad. I think she was just,
driven into a corner by a psychopathic husband.
Yeah, probably because of all the genocide and
that'll do it.
The presumed abuse that she suffered from the bruise on her face that you see in the episode. I think
I'm sure you do see it, but I absolutely did not notice. I must have watched this episode with my eyes closed.
Yeah, I think it is like known that he did like abuse her, and
Jesus, all right.
When she had the upper hand, she did what any rational person would do and shoot the fucker.
Well, who'd have thought the Master is problematic?
Yeah, I mean that's. I didn't guess it. I was like, whoa, who's this? Which is interesting because it's a departure from up until this point in Doctor Who, the Master just being a weird sort of camp man who has a goatee and wants to rule the world.
Yeah, where's John Sim's goatee? Come on now.
Yeah, to an actual raving abusive psychopath.
I think that it's interesting with New Who because it's sort of darker in some ways and not darker in others.
Yeah.
Like I remember talking. I think it was a computer science teacher at school was like a big fan of Doctor Who, and he said like in the old Doctor Who, in sort of the episodes in the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, you would see somebody be shot and killed, and that would be fine.
Yeah.
But nowadays in Doctor Who, they would hurriedly cut away from that because it's such a taboo, horrible thing to see. But then they would also have sort of, domestic abuse from the Master to Lucy and horrible themes and things of drug addiction and all sorts. So, do you see what I mean? It's sort of darker and not darker at the same time.
Yeah, because it's more suggested too than like overtly sort of shown, which makes it a lot worse. There's a similar thing in one of the Christmas specials with, what's her name? Madam Hartigan, who works with the Cybermen.
The enormous Cyberman, yep.
Yeah, and it's alluded to that she has been abused by men repeatedly.
Okay.
And there's like things that she says that are like, I think she's like, Russell T Davies said that she was like a misandrist, like she just hates men because of her experiences, and it's like alluded to in certain innuendos and things that she says. So it's like, it's nice that it's not thrown right in your face and you actually have to look a bit deeper. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, the Earth is taken over.
I've got a quick question actually. This is something that I've seen this episode. This came out in like 2008 or something, and so I must have seen it dozens of times over.
Yeah.
But I still don't quite understand. Why is the Doctor so small? What's happened there? Why is he little? I don't know. Would it have made more sense to have him be like a sentient pile of dust? That's just because he's so impossibly old, of 900 years or whatever, and that makes him little.
So
I don't quite get that one.
I'm not entirely sure what he did to him. Did it add on another 900 years, or did it just show what? I'm going to search this because
I've always taken it to be it's what the Doctor would look like if he had never been able to regenerate. So if he'd have stayed William Hartnell forever, and then that's what he's what he would be. Or I suppose with the Chibnall stuff now, if he'd have stayed the child outside of the portal forever.
Yeah. Wait, what will I type?
Oh.
Why was the Doctor
Danny's
a
sick,
baby?
folks. Give him a minute.
Why was the Doctor a wrinkly baby?
Well, I mean, you couldn't get more clear than that, could you? Why did
yes, newborn baby, loose skin? No, that's not.
Here we go. Why did the Doctor become Gollum-like creature when the Master increased his age to 900 years? At old age, the Doctor regenerates, but this time his regeneration ability was suppressed. So the situation was like the 11th Doctor when he didn't have regeneration energy. In the time of the Doctor, when the Doctor was going to die of old age, probably after living 900 years, he wasn't a Gollum-like creature. Therefore, why didn't the Doctor turn into a Gollum in the time of the Doctor? Right. It's not clear. The Master was simply accelerating the natural way the Doctor would have aged, as opposed to manipulating his biology in some artificial way to age him in a way that would not be normal for a Time Lord. Okay. So
because
this is confusing.
It's a good point. So in Time of the Doctor stays on Trenzalore for like, I don't know, 1,000 years or something like that, and he becomes an old man, and that's how he's presumed that he's gonna die, and he's just an old man. Whereas in this sort of iteration, 100 years ages him to an old man, and 900 years turns him into a demon baby.
A little baby.
So I don't know if the Master's done that in some way, or it's just a failed attempt at continuity.
There's an answer here from a man with no name. Oh no, Hypnosyphil. From 2015, that says that the theory that he has is that apparently because the Time Lords in theory manipulated their genetics or their biology or whatever in order to time travel and do all the rest of it, like how River Song became non-human by virtue of being conceived in the TARDIS.
Yeah.
That perhaps that with the laser screwdriver, the Master deactivated that genetic difference,
Yeah.
and then he was a humanoid creature that was 900 years old and
Yeah.
somehow not dead. That's the theory that I've got, and it makes a bit of sense, I suppose.
See, I think the problem is it isn't Russell T Davies, it's Stephen Moffat's fault for this. Okay,
I love that our podcast, we've got, like 100 episodes, or I think I actually looked on our website as I was uploading an episode the other day. In total, all of everything we've ever uploaded is like 190 episodes, or 190 files, or whatever.
Yeah.
So, in pretty much every single one, we've said, God, fuck it, it's Stephen Moffat's fault. It's all Stephen Moffat's fault.
Yeah, and I'll explain why. Okay, so I was under the assumption that Time Lords, right, have maybe, in terms of like a regeneration consists maybe just like a bit longer than a human's lifespan, and then
which is the kind of thing it's like with
and then they
Harry
regenerate.
Potter, yeah,
you know,
yeah, exactly.
But Stephen Moffat comes along, and Matt Smith can age for like hundreds of years at a time and still look exactly the same. So it takes him so many more years to get to the point where it's like, oh yeah, okay, now I need to regenerate. So I think Russell T Davies is thinking, yeah, it's just a maybe a bit longer than a human life, and then you have to regenerate. But Stephen Moffat says, no, you can live for thousands of years and then you have to regenerate, which is a bit fucking...
It's a bit nonsensy, yeah. I do like the, it's a bit longer than a human life. I quite like the, it was sort of vaguely hinted at in the original Harry Potter books, and I think they actually did say it in one of the Fantastic Beasts movies. The idea that wizards are not inherently different from humans in any particular way. They're just sort of a bit more robust. By virtue of having a bit of magic in them.
Yeah.
Like, Newt makes the point of like, well, I don't need a helmet and I don't need sort of protective gear because I'm just a bit more robust in general. And they make an offhand comment about how Dumbledore is 150 years old, and he's an incredibly old man, close to the end of a natural life cycle for a wizard, in the sense of that he's just a bit more robust than a normal human. Well, quite a bit, I suppose, but more robust than a normal human lifespan. So I suppose... Yeah, I do quite like the idea that it's a Time Lord is, a bit older than a human.
Yeah, which
it makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. So but we'll get to that. The big problem I have with this episode is its ending.
Right.
What the fuck was that solution?
The Master dies when Lucy shoots him.
No. The solution to defeating the Master. Martha travels round the world for a year, and goes and presumably tells. She can't have told everyone. Don't be ridiculous. Okay, there is no way that you have told every single person on this planet about the Doctor, and that's assuming that everyone accepts that the Doctor is this hero from this absolute stranger that's just come into your life, and maybe there are some Master apologists that are like, no, he's really good for the economy and all that, right? And
yeah.
and okay, so and then Martha comes back to Britain and pretends that she also has a gun that she would. Okay, so she pretends that she's getting a gun to kill the Master, and tells that to a woman called Mrs. Docherty in the hopes that she will then relay that information to the Master's secret service or whatever, so that the Master will then find out about Martha's fake plan, so that he'll come down and catch her and take her up to the Doctor. But beforehand, he was going to kill her. He pointed the thing at her face and was like, oh, companion, your work is done. And then the guy who plays fucking Lucifer runs out and is like, hey! And he's like, oh, choo! And, he's dead. And he's like, oh, wait a minute. No, the Doctor should watch you die. Come on then, up to the helicarrier. And they go up. And
yeah, we've got the Avengers up there. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, and then Martha's like, haha, those 15 satellites that you put in over a year ago, I told everyone when the countdown stops to think of the word Doctor, and then because the Doctor tuned himself into the psychic matrices or some bollocks, he turns into literal Jesus and regenerates himself for... I have no idea how that can even possibly happen. What does that even mean? I've had a whole year to tune myself into the psychic networks and integrate with its matrices. Do you know what that is, Lewis? That's the writers realising, wait a minute, this doesn't make any fucking sense. We better put something in to say, yeah, it didn't just... People can't just think about this and then it just happens. He had to do something behind the scenes. So we'll put in a bit of gabblegook and then people will just accept that. I mean, it is really, really silly, in my opinion.
It's something that that I really... Yeah. It's frustrating because you're not just pointed towards it at any point. It's the same as that H-Bomber Guy video about Sherlock. The idea that Sherlock is going and solving mysteries off-screen and then you're left with something else happening in front of you.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like a magic trick because you can't see the magician. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it feels like maybe they could have done something similar to this and said, oh, well, it's the Master's psychic network backfires on him or something. Because I like the fact that the Doctor says to him, I forgive you. It's okay, I understand, sort of thing.
Yeah.
That's a very the Doctor thing to do. I think it would be good to see the Master really afraid of that for a longer period of time. To know, sort of, you've beaten me so many times before, what if you beat me now, and being scared of him.
Yeah.
That would have been good. I don't know if the regenerational thing needed to happen, really. I liked it. Because it meant that in the previous 2 episodes there was big stakes, and you were like, oh god, he's a little tiny bloke, and he's an old man, and all the rest of it. It gave you big stakes, but at the same level, did it really add that much? Would it not have been more... It could have been more emotive to just see David Tennant, normal David Tennant, but chained up, or with a gun to his head, or... Do you know what I mean? There are other ways to do such emotive things as, oh, he's got prosthetics on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Is prosthetics the right word? Like makeup to make him look like an old man.
Yeah. That's the word.
I've got a quick question. What is the Master's end game? If he was able to carry off his plan forever and the Doctor didn't become Jesus, what the goal was universal domination?
Yeah.
And then what? This is the thing I always get about like supervillain plans is why would you be a supervillain? Because your plan always ends with some kind of a state of life from which there's no next step.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, yes, I've got universal domination now. Perfect. Brilliant. And then you're just going to sit on your ass for the remaining however many years of your life? Do you know what I mean? There's nothing that comes after that.
Yeah,
if Loki had been accepted as Lord and Saviour of humanity in the Battle of New York, and he was lauded as Emperor of humanity, okay, and then it's down to the bureaucracy of day-to-day things about, like, oh, well, the bus schedule in New York isn't quite right. Loki, can you have a look at it and sort it out? Do you know what I mean? It's like, I don't get these supervillain plans. If you're just in a situation where you're like, you know what, I really want a new car. And then, okay, I want to watch a supervillain. He's like, oh, I'm going to rob a bank to get a new car. That's a plan I can understand, because then you've got a new car. And you're like, yeah, cool, new car. But for your plan to end with a state of being that doesn't really mean anything, I just don't get it. Do you know what I mean?
I think it's, it's just power for its own sake, I guess. I mean, there are just people in history that are destined to conquer, and that's just what they enjoy. You know, you've got Alexander the Great, Napoleon. Napoleon conquered and was beaten, and then was sent to this little island where he made it really good, and then he just got bored. And then he was offered to go back and try and conquer everything again, and he was like, yes, please. You know, it's just eventually, because of the Master's sort of erratic nature, the universal empire that he would want would collapse in on itself eventually. So I don't know, which it kind of contradicts me a little bit, because I like the idea, oh no, this Master he's psychotic, he's erratic, he'll just do what he wants, but also he wants to rule the universe. You know, I
Yeah.
there's a future episode with Missy as the Master, and that episode is the plan that she has is bollocks, right? But it's more.
Is this the one with the Cybermen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where she creates an army to give to the Doctor because she wants to see that they're both the same. Yeah, it's bollocks, okay, but she does it not because she wants to own everything, but because she wants to make a point to the Doctor, which would have been, I think, a little bit more interesting than just, yeah, I'm really psychotic and it's that Mark Gatiss thing. Yeah, Moriarty is self-consciously a villain. He knows what he's doing. He's a nutcase. You can't really have it both ways, can you? You know, you've got to... You can't be a lunatic and also incredibly coherent and want, universal domination, I guess.
It's that's something I did like about the John Sim Master in general, is that it was the sort of lunacy was an act. It was all sort of for show in a funny way, because every now and then the sort of the veneer and the facade, it cracks, and underneath you see the cold and calculating psychopath.
Yeah.
That's sort of, no, I want to rule the universe and I will go to any lengths to make that happen.
Yeah.
I quite liked that, and then it sort of forms back and he's flamboyantly dancing around and singing a song and all the rest of it.
Yeah. Can I ask you a question?
Yes?
Why is executing him not the solution?
Executing who? Sorry, the Master?
Yeah, the Master. Why is that not the solution?
Well, because, Danny, it's the classic Batman logic. If Batman kills a killer, then the number of killers in the world remains the same. But of course, if you kill 100 killers, then it goes down by 99. So...
Yeah,
no,
but it's this thing I have with David Tennant's Doctor. It's he just has this weird sort of I'm gonna have this whole elaborate chase, genocide, death fight with a big villain to show them how wrong they are. You know, it's I think it's safe to say at this point that the Master is beyond negotiation. You know, there are just some things that people
you say
do.
That, but what about Missy? Missy had that sort of redemption arc, didn't she? Where she sort of became a bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? Rehabilitated, I suppose?
Yeah.
She was less sort of wildly evil and became a bit more sort of, I'm doing stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, I'm conflicted on it because I think that there are some things that human beings do where there is no coming back from. If you get me, the Master as the Jones family say, yeah, that man made us stand on deck and watch the islands of Japan burn, millions of people dead. I mean, this isn't a serial killer, right? This is a genocidal lunatic who will continue and does continue for a very long time, right up until, she's put in a vault and then rehabilitated in some way. But then what happens? Does she just stay in the TARDIS forever? Or does the Doctor let her out? I mean, it's it's complicated, and I think we have in pop culture a very sort of difficult. We've yet to have a difficult conversation about heroes that are I will never kill. I cannot kill. It is wrong. It's yeah, but come on. I mean,
yeah, no, I know it's a difficult moral choice. But I think they wanted to avoid the difficult moral choice by having the Doctor's moral compass be so strong that he's like, I will never kill anyone ever. Because at the end of the day, it's the Doctor saying, well, do I sort of... I mean, in my mind, it's always been a case of the Doctor will avoid killing at any possible way that he can, but it's a case of, if you really, really have to, if there's no other choice, then maybe it's necessary. Do you know what I mean? I don't know, that's always the thing I've sort of seen the Doctor have, and yet he's so very against it. I don't know, it's a funny one that I don't quite get in a funny way, I suppose.
Yeah, I suppose.
So right, just another quick one before we finish up. The face of Bo. What do we think of that?
Yeah, that was a big reveal. And yeah, it was quite neat how it was just sort of neatly put into conversation. Well, I say neat.
let me just get on a couple of shoehorns for you there, Russell.
Yeah. Oh, I was the first one ever to be accepted to the Time Agency. Yeah, they were so proud of me. Yeah. I came from this place called the Bo Shane Peninsula. Yeah, it's tiny.
What did they have a name for?
Tiny. Yeah. They called me They called me. I was the sort of face of that place.
Yeah, the poster boy. Yeah,
I was a poster boy, and I was. They called me the face of Bo.
Oh my God!
What
the
face of Bo?
He's going to be a big head in a jar one day. That's the thing I always think is what happened to Jack in his life that his head got chopped off and then made man-sized.
Yeah.
Well, I don't. I mean, maybe that's just what happens to Beauchene Peninsulans when they get to be incredibly old. I don't know.
So he wasn't brought back forever then, as the doctor said. Like Rose didn't make him immortal.
No, he was just eternally incredibly old. I don't know.
No, I don't know. Oh well. He's dead now.
Oh well.
But yeah, folks, that is the end of Doctor Who.
It is. Yeah. So they never made another episode after this.
Season 3. In brackets, season 3.
Season 3, guys. Season 3.
Do you have any more notes, Lewis?
Just the one. The Doctor puts the Maya onto a pasta. Isn't that weird?
Whoa.
Puts the Master onto a pyre and burns him. Which is a choice.
Yeah.
Because there's that thing that River says about
right.
There are empires that would destroy the planet to get a cell of his body.
No, they
okay.
wouldn't.
Well, couldn't you just yeet him into the sun?
Why is that not happened?
Well, yes, precisely. But that's my point, is if the Doctor was so concerned about somebody getting a cell of the Master's body or whatever, push him into the sun. Do you know what I mean? That's going to get rid of him more concretely than burning him. There'll still be bits of ash of Master. Do you know what I mean? It literally happened. Somebody went up and nicked his ring.
And his ring, yeah.
Exactly. So push him into the sun. That's my suggestion.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my final note. It was also my closing statement, but I've commandeered it for that note.
Yeah, I mean, I find that really funny how she says that, and it's like, yeah, there are whole empires that would tear this world apart for a single cell of his body, and yet no one has ever done that. No one has ever been on this mad search for a Time Lord and came to Earth and been like, there he is, It's just not happened yet. Maybe it will.
That's true. That would be quite good, actually. I
would.
enjoy that as a Doctor Who episode. Like the Sontarans or something. Like, 'cause
yeah.
they're such a militaristic sort of race. And just like they're marching down streets and just they've somehow managed to remove the TARDIS from the equation.
Yeah.
And the Doctor is like, he's in a kitchen. He's got like a wok. And which is, of course, as we know now after Flux, the pinnacle of weaponry against Sontarans.
Yes.
So he's got a wok and he's got to sort of battle his way out.
Absolutely.
Who knows?
I'd love to see how the Sontarans sort of developed cloning and why they thought that was a good way of organising their society. That would be really cool.
I read in a book, because I was a very nerdy child, and I'm a very nerdy man. But yeah, I read that apparently it's because they have this endless war with the Rutans.
Yes.
Or the Rutans, I have no idea. So they were just like, right, okay, clearly the solution to this war is to have an infinitely massive army.
Sake.
So let's just clone as many people as we possibly can.
Doctor Who has such a knack for this, don't they? It's a war between two races, and one of them becomes a monster. It's like they did that with the Daleks.
Rutans were shape-changing, like, spy murderers, so they're not great people either.
Yeah. But why did they do that? Why do they always have, yes, this race fights this race? It's like, is the galaxy really not that complicated? And it's just... we all subscribe to our race, and that's it.
Because it's something I quite like about Star Trek, is all that bollocks about, like, what's his face? Spock being like, "Oh, I am a Vulcan. Ooh, but also I'm a bit human. Oh, I'm conflicted. Blimey."
Yeah.
I quite like that because it's like, yeah, there are individual people within these cultures and these species. You see Worf have it out with his son and having it out with his partner and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
To be like, yes, I want to be a part of this Klingon world, but also I'm just a guy that is just doing stuff.
Exactly.
So I like saying that, but no, in Doctor Who it's very two-dimensional for some bizarre reason.
Yeah, it's kind of annoying, but what are you going to do?
But anyway, we've got a closing statement because we've run over now.
Yes.
And then you can go to bed and collapse and sleep for 12 hours.
Yeah. Do you think the Doctor would have forgiven Hitler?
I don't know.
Do you think?
Because there's the episode A Town Called Mercy where he doesn't forgive, or does he forgive?
He does. He does.
He does.
Maybe
then, I don't know.
Yeah, they're at the Nuremberg trial, and the Doctor's like, "No, there's another solution." You know, but
It's
he's
all right.
Well, he's
you know
obviously
what?
not there.
It's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, he's obviously not there. He's killed himself at this point. But you know what I mean. You know what I'm trying to say.
I do.
Okay.
Okay, so we've got to close this statement then, Dan.
That was it. It's
that
done.
was it. Your Hitler statement. Okay, good. My closing statement is, this is a bit of a funny ending to what is really my favourite sort of three-parter that I think we've ever had. I love a lot of things about this episode. We've focused on a few things that I'm not a big fan of, but that's just the way of it, I think.
Yeah.
I didn't like the ending, but it was good, all the rest of it, so that's nice.
Yeah. I do like Martha's ending, I just have to say very quickly. I think, and she might be the only companion in New Who that chooses to leave.
You might be right with that one,
I think she might be. No, wait,
or does
Graham.
Mickey?
Yeah, Mickey does.
Graham and Ryan.
Graham and Ryan do. So,
yeah.
Mickey, Martha, Graham and Ryan. And
Christ, that's depressing, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's such a high mortality rate.
Yeah, Martha...
of the Doctor's companions.
Martha is the most underrated fucking companion.
Yeah.
Spending the entire fucking season having to louch about after this weirdo, you know? And she's like, "No, fuck this, I'm away. See you after." But I'll...
No, I do like Martha, she's good.
Yeah.
Or Matha, as she's referred to on Spotify. There's one of the songs in this, Martha's Quest is the name of the song, but on Spotify someone misspelled it and now it's Matha's Quest.
Wow.
So that's nice. But anyway, I think that's definitely the end of the episode.
Yes.
We're talking about bollocks now.
Absolutely.
We've done closing statements. Do we shill now?
Yeah, we do shill.
Quick, sell me something.
We all have Linktrees.
Whoa, sold.
Yeah, Lewis's Linktree is linktr.ee/Lewis_Brindley, mine's is /O'Hiram, and the podcast is /Shouting Into the Void. There you will find our socials, our Instagram, our YouTube, our Facebook, anything. Go have a look, go leave a comment, give us a like, and enjoy. We also...
do all those things with something from RoboCop. I'd buy that for $1. Yeah, carry on.
Fuck's sake. We also have a PayPal donate button, so anything you can spare, anything at all, would be greatly...
Danny's sick, everybody, but what he's trying to say is that any donation at all will be greatly appreciated.
Yep.
It all goes into the pot, and we do the best we can with it to get our show out there, because we do love doing it. I think the next thing on the list is Patreon.
Yeah. We also have Patreon, and we want to take the opportunity, as we do every week, to thank our wonderful, wonderful patrons. Chloe.
Thank you.
Darius.
Thank you.
Peter.
Thank you.
Aditya.
Thank you.
Natalie.
Thank you.
And Dougie.
Thank you, one and all. You really do make the show possible. You are allowing us to do all sorts of spectacular things that we really do love to do. And essentially, we're just really glad that you help us make the show.
Yes.
We really love making it, and you are the reason that we are able to make it. So thank you very, very much.
Thank you so much. We also have merch on Teespring and Redbubble. We sell tote bags, jumpers, socks, mugs, t-shirts, stickers, all sorts of shit.
Yeah.
Get yourself over there, because Christmas is literally here. It's so close now.
It is.
And I can finally say that. Get yourself something nice, get a loved one something nice, or a friend or whatever. Just buy something. Please.
A friend but not a loved one. A friend that you don't love. Buy them something.
Yeah, an acquaintance. Buy an acquaintance something, because
Yeah,
that's
at your office
that's
party, buy everybody merch for our podcast.
yeah. Buy an acquaintance something, because that's the level of quality they fucking deserve. Yeah, and last but certainly not least, we are partnered with an amazing company called. It's not last but not least.
No, it's not.
No.
I was about to correct you, but you've corrected yourself.
God's sake. Yes.
Honestly, Danny, you've got one job.
Do you want to introduce the ad, Lewis?
I would love to. We have a spectacular advert this week that we made spectacularly for our spectacular friend Kez at Right Side Yarns. So here is our cheeky and spectacular ad. Danny, I've got some amazing news.
Oh, really? What?
I'm going to make you a hat.
Thanks. But why?
Well, because Right Side Yarns, who sell beautiful and unique wool, have recently released a new range.
Oh, I've heard of them. Aren't they that fantastic Scottish business that sells high-quality hand-dyed products perfect for crafting with?
They certainly are, and they're sponsoring the show.
Really? Have they heard the show?
Yes, and apparently they like it. Kezia, the owner of the business, has given us a generous 15% off code for any of our listeners to use.
Is that why you've got Void 15 written in your hand?
It is! If you or any of our listeners would like to use the code, simply enter Void15 at checkout with a capital V.
Great! Where do I check out?
You can go to their website at rightsideyarns.co.uk or check them out on Instagram at Kezia_rightsideyarns.
Fantastic! This hat you're making me better be good. Wow.
You know, Danny, I've just had an email just straight away after that we've recorded that. This is from the Oscar committee. We've actually just won an Oscar for that ad.
Yep.
Can you believe it?
Every Apple advert beaten right there.
Yes, including that one directed by Ridley Scott. All of them.
Yep, absolutely. Not really. And last but certainly not least, we are partnered with an amazing company called Number 12 Crochet Avenue, and Lewis is going to say some wonderful things about them, all of which are true.
Indeed I am. Number 12 Crochet Avenue is a wonderful company run by my wonderful wife in which they crochet, and they're very, very good at it. And if you'd like to keep up to date with everything that's going on in that world, then you can go to Number 12 Crochet Avenue on Instagram and see what they're doing over there. So go and take a cheeky look and give them a cheeky follow, give them a cheeky like, give them a cheeky subscribe, and check it out.
Yes, please do. Whew! That is, wow.
I know, that was a long whisper.
Yeah.
Whisper.
But we've got a little bit of an announcement to make, folks.
We do.
This is the last time that we will be doing individual whispers for individual episodes. Because we do love talking bullshit for every single episode. We that's, but Lewis, how long is it taking us to get to this point? When did we start Doctor Who?
Years? Over a year, certainly.
And we're on the end of season 3. Okay?
Yeah.
We've got so much
There are
more to
13
do.
seasons.
Yeah. So what we thought would be a good idea would be to talk about seasons collectively. So do one whisper for one season and spread it out, make it nice and broad so we can talk about an episode that we like, an episode that we dislike, the themes,
and there'll be
the
longer
arcs.
episodes. Yep, and they'll be a bit more infrequent, perhaps. But yeah, we will be doing sort of in a more general sense a big season of TV.
Yeah, and you get to see our faces. What's not to fucking love? Yeah. And I think...
And if you don't want to see our faces, you can just close your eyes. That's fun. You can always do that.
Yeah, exactly. But, the audio will be up on Podomatic anyway, so, best of both worlds, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I think we're going to start, not with season 4 of Doctor Who.
As would be sensible.
Yeah, but we're going to start with the most recent season of Doctor Who.
Yeah, get you nicely confused.
Doctor Who Flux.
What the flux?
What the flux is that? Yeah, so that will be next week. So it's something to look forward to. Put it in your calendar.
We'll talk about it at great length. Put it in your calendar.
Yeah.
Yep.
Amazing. So,
okay, thank you very much for listening, everybody. I think that's everything now.
Yes.
So have a wonderful evening. Thank you very much for listening. We will... what we're going to do, Danny? You do these bits.
What are we doing?
You do that thing at the end of every episode. We're going to hear you, see you...
We'll hear you, see you, smell you. Get a massage off of that person that... no.
Right.
We're going to become the poster boys for the Beauchene Peninsula.
There we go. We figured it out.
Yeah,
guys. We got there.
and shamelessly crowbar a name drop in our sentences next time.
Perfect, yes. We'll see you then. Thank you very much for listening. Goodbye.
I don't know if you could tell, but I was really spinning out of control there.
Yeah, I could tell. I could tell.
Bye.
Goodbye.